Woo! What's going on, guys? Orms Forum coming at you guys there with a video, and we got Detroit Lions training camp, day 5, first day of practice with the pads on. Yeah, man, football's back. You know, pads are on. And it's time to battle. It's time to battle for these Detroit Lions. LFG, let's friggin' go. I'm excited for this football season. You know, when the pads come back on, you know, that's when you really know that football's back. You know, doing kind of a late video though, guys. Couldn't get it out earlier, had some plans. So, you know, day 5, man. And we're getting closer and closer. We're like 40 days, 41 days till kickoff. It's crazy, man. So, you know, guys like Eric Schlitt, John Macaron, Dave Burkett, Mike O'Hara, Tim Twentyman, Jeff Risen, and even Jeremy Reisman, those guys throwing out info so I get that info to you guys. If it wasn't for them, you know, we wouldn't be we wouldn't be able to see these reports out there for the Detroit Lions. So kudos to those guys, man, doing their thing. Now for attendance, injury updates, you know, wide receiver J-Mo, Jameson Williams, Marvin Jones, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Working with trainers, you know, seeing some sprints from C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Jameson Williams, which does have a hamstring injury, and wasn't sure what that was. Dan Campbell was being a little bit coy with that injury. Wasn't telling us if it was a hammy or a quad, but finally dug up one of those. I think it was, I don't remember who it was. It might have been Burkett. Don't quote me on it. But I think he reported that it was a hamstring. It was a hamstring injury. So hopefully those don't linger. They tend to sometimes, but you know, he's got 6 weeks off, man. So they're going to be taking it easy with him. But he was seen running sprints along with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, which is a great sign. Marvin Jones looks closer to coming back too. Halaputi Vaitai and Brian Branch, the rookie, all back to practice as well too. Vaitai did have a back injury. It wasn't related to his back injury from last year, which he missed the whole season, but I guess he got hit in the back. It was completely unrelated to the other back injury. So he was limited, but he was in there. And Brian Branch was a full go, and he looked great. Apparently. Now Emmanuel Mosley, some, you know, upsetting news. He had his knee scoped, cleaned up. Dan Campbell was saying that he expects him to be back Monday. So next week, I'm assuming he's obviously talking about this Monday coming up. So another week without Emmanuel Mosley. You know, they did a little procedure on his knee. And hopefully that cleans up some things. He didn't really want to confirm the procedure either, Dan Campbell, but it was being reported again, saying that he had a minor procedure done to his knee, Emmanuel Mosley. So we'll see. And then Antoine Green, the rookie, the 7th-round rookie, he did leave practice early. He was struggling a little bit today with the heat. Apparently, some heat exhaustion. He was seen laying in the cold tub with a thermometer in his mouth. So, you know, hopefully the young man gets a little bit better. Got to take that stuff serious because, you know, it was hot today. It was a warm one. I seen a picture of on Twitter of C.J. Gardner-Johnson with a toque on. So that's crazy. You know, I'm Canadian, man. So, you know, seeing stuff like that. Well, we're all north. You know what I mean? So. You guys are in Detroit are getting hit just like we're getting hit over in Canada. You know, Windsor, I live 20 minutes away from Detroit. Not even sometimes, you know. All depends how fast you're driving. So it's not even like, but just being with a toque on though, it was hot today, man. It was warm. It was warm, man. I was out there. So I don't know. They have practice a little bit earlier, but man, having a toque on, CJ, man, you're crazy, bro. But you know, is what it is. So, you know, like I said, pads are on. So what they do, you know, they start pitting their best guys versus their best guys, offense, defense, one-on-one drills, tackling drills for most of the day. They were focusing on the run today, not a lot of deep shots. some intermediate stuff, some even closer stuff to the line of scrimmage, short throws. Wasn't really focusing on the deep ball. So, hitting is what they want to see. So, they pit their best guys versus their best guys. So Hutch versus Sewell right off the bat. Sewell slightly won the first battle. It was closer to a stalemate though. And Hutchinson victorious on the second rep. Power swimming right by him. There's even a little bit of video on it on Facebook. Woodward Sports put out a little collage of videos of what was going on, and they showed the one move by Hutchinson getting by Sewell. It was a nice movement, and that's iron sharpening iron right there. It was Sewell and Hutch, and Sewell completely noticing how much better and how much stronger he's noticed Aiden Hutchinson in his second year. Night and day, he said, from pretty much from his rookie year, how strong he is, and just how he's just better, and he looks like he's the real deal. Dan Campbell saying the same thing, going, he just looks better. He's bigger, he's stronger. You see a picture of Hutch. He's got enormous legs. His legs are enormous. Doesn't look really that much bigger in the upper body, maybe slightly. I know he played at about 265 last year. He looks a bit bigger. I'd say he's 270. You know what I mean? 270 plus, 272. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know if I want to say he's 10 pounds heavier, but he might be close. He looks the same, kind of, but just a little bit bigger. And he's faster and he's stronger apparently. So, you watch the video and he's just, he just looks the part, man. He just looks the part, and he's showing his range too. They're dropping him back into coverage. They're giving him more. They're doing some different defensive looks all around with this defense, man. Giving guys like Hutchinson, Charles Harris, Romeo Aquara. They're putting different responsibilities on their plates, and they're just doing well with it right now. It's going to take a little bit to get some of these new wrinkles mixed in there, but I'm excited for it. Then they had Joshua Pascal beating Herman Ifedi on a really nice, another strong swim move. Pascal's been looking pretty good, stacking some days up. Kind of quiet, but not doing anything bad. So it's a good thing that we're not hearing his name in a negative way. But he's looking solid out there. He's finally healthy too. So then McNeil, 20 plus pounds lighter, at about 305. He was seen talking either a day ago, saying he lost about 22 pounds. But he's got this, he's quicker, he's faster, but he's just as strong. He's like I'm just as strong and everything, but and I'm lighter. So if he lost 22 pounds, he's 305. That's a big boy, man. He was 327 last year, 330, touching 330. So, and if he can show what he can show, he was doing it the last, few games of the year. Sky's the limit for that kid. So he's showing his quickness, dipping under Colby Sorsdal, making him look a little silly, making the rookie look a little silly. So showing some power versus Glasgow too. I guess he just two-handed him right into the chest. Glasgow went back. They had a pretty good battle though. Match ended in a draw. So good to see the youngster versus the wily vet there. And then Glasgow locked up Christian Covington. Covington also lost a rep to rookie center Brad Cecil. So Covington will need to step up a little bit there, man. It's not good it doesn't look really good on tape there. Getting popped around a little bit. You're a guy that got brought in. No one's really asking you to be the guy, but he needs to be a little bit better. So then Jonah Jackson out there too. I guess he apparently looked the best out of all the old linemen, beating John Kaminsky and Benito Jones, and then collapsing Isaiah Buggs on a run play. So Jonah Jackson apparently was unstoppable. Couldn't move him much. He's coming up on a contract year. I believe this is his contract year, and he's going to be looking to get paid. He's looking to get paid. So I expect a huge year from Jonah. If they lock him up before the season, after, who knows? And we do have some news too about Tom Kennedy. Tom Kennedy was released. I'm not going to make a video on it. I kind of make a little bit of lighthearted jokes about Tom Kennedy in the past, and they picked up some guy named Trey. I can't even remember the guy's name, man. He played for Denver. I believe Washington. I think he played for Washington. Jacksonville, played for the Michigan Panthers in that USFL league. Don't know his stats at the USFL league. I'm sure they were better than they were in the pros, but it looks like Kennedy was hurt, so he was waived. They'll probably come right back on the practice squad, so everybody just calm down. There's lots of people out there upset that he's gone again. So maybe I'll make a video if he comes back again. It's a fun video. I like Tom Kennedy, but this fan base takes it a little bit too far sometimes, and that's fine. Everyone's got their fan favorites. And then Decker looking strong too, back to the old lineman. He took down Romeo Okwara twice and Charles Harris in one-on-ones. So, the older veteran doing his thing at left tackle, very underappreciated left tackle, I think, in the NFL, is Taylor Decker. Hasn't been the superstar or elite or anything like that. He's always been pretty damn solid, and he's showing it right now early. And then Obinna Eze, the other left tackle, the reserves, they were showing off his power as well, something he hasn't really done. He locked down James Houston, really good, and then Houston did beat him pretty good on a crazy spin move though, just blowing him out of the water there. That's one thing that Houston really does well is rush the passer. And then Coyote Awasika, another reserve, handled UDFA rookie Chris Smith, kid out of Notre Dame, pretty good twice. So got him twice. Ryan Swoboda beat Julian Okwara. Julian Okwara, I believe, is on the bubble. He's going to have a tough time making this team, in my opinion. And then Broderick Martin beat Logan Stenberg as well, too. And then, Martin got stymied once, too, I believe, by Ross Piersbacher, our backup center, too, our second or third center. The guy that's going to be fighting for second team reps. So, Martin having a good day, then he got beat up a little bit, too, but, it's the first day of camp for hitting. So you expect to see some up and down guys, especially by the rookies. And then there was more wrinkles in the defense, man. We're talking about these wrinkles. Lots of movement from the edge rushers going on this team and the linebackers. Hutch, Harris, Romeo, Barnes, and Trevor Nowaski, another UDFA that they brought in, expanding their team roles, putting more on their plate, putting more linebacker responsibilities on their plate. Something that Trevor Nowaski, he was pretty much a linebacker in college his last year. So these guys there seems to be some new. It's not going to be a totally new defense, but right now it looks like they're experimenting with some things right now, and we're going to see how those roles happen. And then the rookies making some noise out there still, especially on D. Incorporating more 5-man fronts by removing their nickel back, okay, for one. So you're going to see a 5-man front with 5 DBs in a formation. That means you reduce the off-ball linebacker by one usage, okay? So these standalone linebackers they were switching back and forth, Anzalone and then Campbell, Jack Campbell, the rookie. So a 5-1-5 defense. That's what we're going to call it right now, 5-1-5. They might have a different formation, different name for it, but it's pretty much a 5-1-5. You got your 5-man front, got your one lone linebacker, and then you incorporate 5 safeties or 5 DBs. So you can do 3 corners, 2 safeties, 3 safeties, 2 corners. They're going to mix and match this because they're so versatile. It's insane. And they're versatile on the defensive line too. Houston can play the D-line. He can play on the ball. He can do a lot of it different. He can play on the outside. They're not going to kick him inside or anything like that. He's just not big enough to play DT. But he can play standing up, hand in the dirt every now and then. Hutch the same way, hand in the dirt, standing up. He's best at standing up. Personally, I think so. They're going to have a lot of new looks, man, and then it's just looking good right now. Looking good at defense. So, and then there's more trust towards guys like Jack Campbell. I talk about the guys, these rookies making noise still. Guys like Jack Campbell, more and more you're hearing that he's getting more trust. He's getting more reps with the ones. He's going to win a spot, guys. He's going to win that linebacker spot next to Angelo. It's going to happen. He's too good of a linebacker. He's all business apparently. This kid, it was also reported today that I read that when practice is over, these guys like to go to the lockers, sit around, go on their tablet, go on their phone, just kind of act human, act normal. Not Jack Campbell. He doesn't go to his phone. I don't think he's a big social media guy to begin with, but he's thinking about the next practice, what's happening. He's scheduled. He's a very scheduled human being apparently. He's all football. He's 24/7 football. So I think it's a big reason why this guy was drafted in the first round, and he's got the goods out there too. So you're hearing a lot of good things about Campbell, and then he made a fantastic play in an 11-on-11 drill. Go to Twitter. You can go to Twitter. You can see the video. You can see the video. They got some nice videos too out there right now with Brian Branch making plays, Jack Campbell making plays. Jack Campbell makes a play on Craig Reynolds. Craig Reynolds catches a ball, kind of cuts through the middle into the flat. He's kind of lollygagging with the ball in his hand. Jack Campbell comes out of nowhere and just bats the ball out of his hands and then recovers the football. Playmaking 101 right there. So love seeing the rookie get his first fumble recovery. It is in practice, but hey, man, that just instills confidence in you, and every single football player loves to go through that, man. So good for Jack Campbell for doing the strip tackle and the recovery. And then, like I said, Brian Branch is being moved all over the field right now. It's good that he's back. He had a little bit of a foot injury. He's making plays, man. He had 2 more pass breakups right now. He has 6 now. And he just keeps stacking them up daily. So I think he might lead the team right now in practice early for the PBUs, the pass breakups. But he's just making all kinds of plays. And then you saw Brian Branch running stride for stride with Khalif Raymond on a 1 rep with a pass breakup. So he did lose 2. He did lose 2 matches against Khalif Raymond out of 3, but he on that third one, Raymond beat him once on a double move, and then Branch blanketed him on the final go, but Raymond somehow came up with the ball. He somehow caught the football, and it was great coverage. So kudos to Khalif Raymond for adjusting. I didn't see that video, but I'm assuming he adjusted to the ball because Brian Branch had great coverage. It was just a great play by Khalif Raymond. And throw that 40 time out the window like we've talked about before, because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. He plays faster than that 4.56 or 4.58, whatever he had at the combine. He doesn't play like that. He flies down the field. So that's good. And then UDFA cornerback Stephen Gilmore had a nice day. It's good to hear from some of these reserves. There's a mini little CB4 tryout going on right now, cornerback 4. It's brewing with Gilmore, Jaron Williams, and Khalil Dorsey. Gilmore was getting looks opposite Starling Thomas. Thomas pretty much has got that locked up right now. It looks like he's going to be for sure making that squad. It is still early, but it just looks like he's going to. And then Gilmore made a nice play, shedding a Maurice Alexander attempted block, maintaining his outside contain and track down Craig Reynolds on a really short gain. So good for guys like Stephen Gilmore, UDFA making some plays out there. It's what we want to hear. And then the running game. Finally going to get a good look at the running game. The D-line won this battle pretty much today, though, because it's a difficult drill for the offense when everybody in the defense knows what you're doing. They know they're running the football, so they were collapsing the play. That they were, they were just getting in. They were just getting into the lanes. They were stopping the run most of the time, and they just knew what the plays were. They didn't know where the balls were going, I don't think. but they knew it was a run play, so it just makes it a little bit easier, right? You don't gotta go balls to the wall. You just gotta keep containment. So they were hitting gaps. They were muddling up the middle, and making the offensive line work, making the running backs work. So that's pretty much what the whole point of the drill is. Gibbs did find a nice hole on one rep, and he bust through the gap for a pretty good gain. And then Muhammad Ibrahim showing patience, waiting for a hole, and attacking it aggressively as well too. So like hearing that from the UDFA out of Minnesota to the Minnesota Golden Gopher. And then Cam Sutton, he's showing instincts to fill gaps. Like I said, man, the defense knows what's going on, but he's not shy. He's getting in there, and he's filling gaps. He's filling holes. He's putting his head down. He's trying to light guys up. So he's our CB1 this year, and he needs to be aggressive. He needs to not only just play the pass well, he needs to play the run well as well. He had like 40-something tackles last year as a quarterback, so we need him to play some ball. And then Melifonwu had a nice tackle for loss as well. And then back to team drills. Lions are trying to get creative, and they're really trying to find ways to get the ball in Khalif Raymond's hands. They put a lot of trust in him now, and I'm trying to get the ball in Khalif's hands. Dylan Drummond, so he was getting second team reps. He had some nice yak going on yards after the catch. And then Laporta was schooling James Houston in coverage, especially in the yak department. He just gets the ball, and he gets that yak. The yards after the catch is what he was at Iowa as a tight end in that really bad offense. But that's what he was. And Houston was struggling. So Houston is on the third team. He's struggling in coverage as of right now. He's been kind of up and down with it. He had that one nice day, and I'm pretty sure now he's struggling. So hopefully it changes. He's chasing instead of recognizing right now. So he needs to get better. He needs to get his nose in the playbook. He needs to learn. He needs to watch some tape of himself. He needs to figure it out. If he wants to play every down, he needs to figure it out. So we love him as a pass rusher. But to be a 3-down player, it's going to be tough for him, man. I think it's going to be really tough. I really do, because he didn't really do it well in college. At Florida, he was a rotational guy. He wasn't terrible as a Florida Gator. I'm not even saying that. He wasn't terrible. He was a good rotational piece linebacker at Florida that didn't start a lot of games, and then he went through the transfer portal, and he became a stud at a small school, Jackson State. So rushing the quarterback, and that's fine. That's what he is right now. He is a pass rush specialist. I can't stress it enough. And I don't want to sit there and keep defending that. It's just that's what he is right now. Until he can prove he can do it in games, he's got to do it in practice first too. He can't be inconsistent. He's got to be consistently consistent. Pretty much, that's what he has to do. And then Rodriguez is out there too. He's stacking up some solid days. He seems to be another guy that's the forgotten linebacker. There was so much talk about him last year. It was nauseating at one point, man. It was like nobody could stop talking about it. Even I was talking about this guy. It was just crazy. So, he's going to be a guy that is a little bit forgotten, but just a bit. I think he's going to be a special teams guy coming out, starting a year, because I still think Jack Kim's going to win a spot. So, he did have the only interception of the day, though, so it was nice coverage. He jumped on the ball that Jared Goff threw. Goff must have not seen him. There is video on that on Twitter, too. He jumps in front of, I don't know who he's jumping in front of. Can't even tell who it is. Maybe Khalif Raymond? I don't even know, to be honest with you. I don't remember. I got to see the video again. But he makes a really nice move inside, comes inside, makes the pick, turnover. I don't think it was Goff. I think it was Sudfeld who threw the ball. Number 10, is that Sudfeld? Yeah, I think it was number 10. It wasn't Goff. It was Nate Sudfeld. So so Rodrigo slowly stacking up some decent days, but he seems to be the guy that's going to be like a special teams ace as of right now. with good depth. And we talked about this a lot, man, with him. We talked about him, being a guy that's not going to be just kicked to the curb, but he is a little bit forgotten right now, and they are going to upgrade. They did upgrade, and they got a better linebacker. Jack Campbell's going to be better. He just is. So and that's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having great depth like Rodrigo, man. So, and being a special teams guy. So, and then Mims, he was quiet on offense today too. He was positive. He was positive on the special teams though, in coverage and blocking, something that he didn't really do at New York. There was reports out there from fans, from the media, that he refused to play special teams in New York. I kind of looked. I looked for it. I try to go through New York Jets papers. If you got the internet, you can try to look through stuff like that. I didn't find anything where he said he was never going to play special teams. But he was always upset about his playing time in New York. I did see that numerous times, that he thought that the coaching staff never gave him a fair shot. So, I don't follow the Jets enough. I just read a couple articles about it. They weren't really slandering Denzel Mims, the media. They're tough on their players, obviously, that New York media, but they weren't really saying that he refused to. He just didn't do it. He just didn't do it a lot. Like, I don't know if they asked him to, and he said no, but he did get into it with Robert Saleh, the head coach over there in New York. So, he finally got his wish to get out of there, and we pounced. So who knows? So he looked pretty good on special teams. It looked like he wasn't skipping a beat. So it's like riding a bike, man. Sometimes if you did it years ago, then maybe you can still do it now. So obviously he's out there still doing it. So we'll see what happens with Mims. But he had kind of a quiet day. He dropped the ball too, I guess. He got, I believe he knocked. He had. No, he did well on special teams. Sorry, he threw someone to the ground. I forget who it was who he threw to the ground, but he had a positive special teams day, and but he did drop a ball or two. Now, more special teams work. Justin Jackson, Jamar Jefferson, James Mitchell, and Chase Lucas all stood out on special teams. Obviously, Lucas as a blocker, looked confident out there. Him and Starling Thomas look good working together. They're trying to find a mix and match of guys that can go to play together. Now, Thomas and Lucas, they were in the gunner drills. Thomas has got a beat on that. I think right now he's one of the guys that's talked about as probably winning one of those gunner spots, at least getting number one reps. And then Thomas with Malafonwu too, and Lucas with Trinity Benson. So trying to mix and match guys up. And then Jefferson was the eye opener though. This came from Eric Schlitt, I believe. He said special teams is kind of going to be the do or die for him. It's going to be the do or die for him, and I think he knows it. That's what coming from Schlitt. He was blocking and covering his tail off, making strides in his special team department. So he kind of knows that his bread and butter might be special teams. And if they carry 4 running backs or 5 running backs, how are they going to do this with this Kabinda thing too as well? It's going to be interesting. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's winning, he won all 3 of his reps, including beating Sutton twice, Cameron Sutton. I think Jerry Jacobs might have took him down on one play though, so I don't know if I kind of read conflicting reports on that one. So, but Amon-Ra doing his thing, man, winning most of his reps. And I think him and Jerry Jacobs, it seems they have some type of camp little battle going on. Obviously, they don't play the same position, but it seems like they're going after each other right now, and I love it. It's probably 2 friends, and they're just trying to one up each other, and it's something you want to hear and see. So they had 2 reps, 1 win each. So good for those guys. And then don't sleep on Josh Reynolds. He had 2 real tough catches on day 5. It's another guy that kind of a lot of Lions fans, Lions media, they sleep on him a little bit. They sleep on Josh Reynolds. He's got good chemistry with Goff. He made 2 tough catches, and we need to see him healthy too. And then Kirby Joseph, he came close to his 2nd pick of the day, a 2nd pick of the camp. So he just missed it when I think he dropped it pretty much. So He's out there. He's a ball hawk. He's getting to the ball. Just got to make that play, make that catch. And then Abraham had a really nice spin off Anthony Pittman. It was a really nice move, apparently, leaving Anthony Pittman grabbing for air. So really good there. Then last but not least, there's a running. They're trying to look for that, that guy that was getting in. We had the Aaron Glenn and the Deuce Staley competition last year that they were going after each other in camps. We saw it on Hard Knocks. They were going back and forth, running their mouths at each other. Scotty Montgomery, the new running back coach, seems to be the guy that's stepping into Deuce Staley's shoes, and it looks like he's going to be that guy because they were jawing at each other the last couple days. Especially during the padded practice too. So that's it, guys. There's a long one, over 30 minutes. We're going to go into 31 minutes. I appreciate you guys hanging in there. One pride. Don't forget, guys, hit the subscribe button at bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell up top. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. What do you guys think? Padded practice, day 5. Lots of practice to go. And the kickoffs, tick, 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 tock, man. They're coming. So thanks a lot, guys, for coming in. Go Lions. One pride. Let's go, baby. Boom.